Welcome to this Inner Champion Summit interview. I'm Accolon Hollingsworth, a self-mastery and Kung Fu trainer. And I put this Inner Champion Summit together for you to help you be a champion in your life so that you can back yourself up through the tough stuff in life. And if you feel on your own as you're handling the challenges and sometimes the painful things, you're able to back yourself up and feel confident and capable as you face the world. In this specific interview, we're going to be helping you strengthen your mind, increase mental strength, and then also use your mind to thrive. Sounds pretty good, right? Yeah. I brought Derika. I've been wanting to, for some reason, my mind changes Derika to Danica sometimes, but Derika Faamausili, did I say that right? Close?
Derika Faamausili.
Oh, I switched the letters around. Wow. It's like I'm dyslexic with your name all of a sudden. Thank you. Yes, I brought Derika in to bring her, just so she can share her expertise with you on these subjects. And we're going to have a fun conversation around it and hopefully be very helpful to you. Derika, why do you care about this topic? Let's start there.
Oh man, big question to start with, right? I love it. Okay, Accolon, thank you for inviting me on your show. I feel honored to be here with this audience. I know how much you care about bringing out this inner champion in others. And it's like you're talking my language. And so I'm very happy to provide my wisdom and tools here to help people thrive into their champion. So thank you. Secondly, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because just like you and everyone watching, I'm sure we all have a story. We all have been in these trials and tribulations and hardships in our life. And mine started out very early where I grew up in great poverty, very poor, not just physical, but poor mental, emotional health, very poor on all levels. Okay, so I went through the whole gamut of just growing up in a very stressful life with many struggles. And growing up, Accolon, it was like, why, you know, your siblings or people in your neighborhood and people around you, we kind of all live amongst each other, but we all grow up differently. Like we're all experiencing different situations and experiences. How is that? Even from your own siblings, right? And so, yeah, I was going through hardships, but there's people who were in hardships that weren't going through the struggles I was in, right? I had the depression, I had the anger, I had nearly going into kidney failure. Like my life was very poor in many ways. And what it came down to is me going on this deep search for many years, leading me to the mind as the source that creates this sickness, this health, this poverty, or this wealth. Our whole experiences are generated by our mindset. And so it took me going through so much of that journey myself and coming on the other side of this. Now being on the other side of sitting in abundance and great health, mentally, physically, emotionally. And now I'm like, I want to help you. I want to help you get to this thriving place. And I can't turn this off. It's all that I think about now. I think about my siblings. I think about my brothers and sisters of this planet. And even though I try to turn it off sometimes, I can't. I'm back on a show. You know, I'm back up here talking about these powerful tools of how did I do it? How have I helped thousands of others do it now around the world, get from, you know, pain into thriving, you know, and so into stress and to striving, like whatever you want to call it, been able to help people get on this other side. And I feel like that's my passion in life. I just have to do it.
Yeah, you and I both definitely have that going on. It's all day long, all day, every day, but I love it. It helps bring the best out of ourselves and then helps us bring the best out of other people. And the more we're doing that, the safer we are in the world, the healthier, more enjoyable the world is to us. So it's all good. So if we're preoccupied with this, I think it's a good thing.
Yes, it's definitely a good thing. It's something that obviously we can't turn off, but that's my why. I can see the struggle and pain out there. We can. It's so easy. Like, how can you not see all of the pain that so many people are suffering in, and you know what to do. You have the tools, you have the experience and the bandwidth to help them, and that's why I'm here. You know, that's just where it's at.
I mentioned that I train with self-mastery, and there's different aspects to self-mastery I work with. There's the mind, the heart, the love center, right? The soul, the body, the ego. There's different aspects of our being that play a part in whether we thrive or not. But one reason we're focusing on the mind is because you probably noticed this too. What I've noticed is that my mind is really where it starts in my experience and what I create, how I interpret, how I'm affected by things. So much with the mind, including the other aspects of the ego, the body, the heart, love center, the soul. And one thing I've noticed is my mind can cut off access to what feels good in me if I let it do that. That's one of the things I noticed that needs one of the things that needs the most help in our minds is that simple dynamic. I refer to it as the mind's mental shutdown reflex, and it's generally instinctual in response to something unpleasant, something painful, something that doesn't feel good. But when the mind shuts down, it's kind of like a wall or a curtain closing off what feels good within us, that, our heart, our love energy, our soul. And then the mind ends up kind of defaulting into a hyper focus of what it's trying to not have us feel, or doesn't want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Notice anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to get into, how does the mind work? If you look at, imagine a pyramid, this bottom shelf here, imagine that's the mind. Okay, this is the foundation of your entire life, is what's going on inside of your mind. Now, there's other pillars that, could be your food, okay, your lifestyle, your environment, right? There's other pillars, but honestly, Accolon, if you don't take care of your foundation, your mindset, I don't care what technique you do. I don't care what Reiki, acupuncture, all organic diet, meditation center you go to, it ain't gonna work. You're going to relapse. Okay. The thing is that if you don't get to your mindset, if you don't release what you call as the shield or what's blocking you, it's going to be triggered, and you're going to come relapse and go back into depression or that lifestyle or that habit or whatever it is you're trying to get away from. It's going to bite you. It's going to come and get it because it still lives in your subconscious. Now, this is the mind work that I do, is hypnotherapy. Okay, because you can talk at your mind, like I can talk at you all day long, and we can talk about what's right and what's wrong, but that's on the conscious level. The subconscious is what you get to. If you're wanting to thrive, you're wanting to be that champion in life, meaning boost your confidence, really be a go-getter for your goals, stand up and, express yourself, or whatever it is your goal is, if you're not obtaining that, it's because you have contradicting programs. The shield of what you just said, you have contradicting programs that are active in your mind. You see, growing up, I had programs that, there wasn't enough money to go around, that life was hard, that love wasn't real, that good health was non-existent, that happiness was Walt Disney. I had all these programs that contradicted my higher self, my thriving self, and what I wanted. And it wasn't, Accolon, until I got to those programs, I don't care what I did and how much I screamed at myself and banged my head, I did not change. I really didn't change. So hypnotherapy was what entered my life as that. I may be biased, but so far I found the only tool that accesses the subconscious mind that is really meant to do that. That is what it does. It specializes in the subconscious mind to get to those programs. Okay, programs meaning I can't have the right lever, or I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I suck, whatever it is, right? You name it. Tell me a program, a negative thing that's stopping you from the next goal. I can't be successful, right? All of this is just programs, and these programs are also just neural pathways. So I don't want to go too deep tonight, but your programs that I'm referring to are just neural pathways in your brain. Okay, and they're just firing off. Now, until you get rid of that program, you can't have I'm confident and I'm like an anxious Nelly. You know, you can't have both of those going on. You have to get rid of that other one for this one to really thrive and be you. Be your personality now, be your identity, be your experience. You have to get rid of these contradicting programs. So I used hypnosis, and I will still use hypnosis to this day if I'm trying to hit a new level. I say, okay, what's getting in my way? So I want to ask all of you watching right now, what's getting in your way? Right? Accolon, back me up on this. It's like, you want that thing, right? You want that thing you're going after. You want to thrive. You have that champion goal that you're going after. What's stopping you? Acknowledge it. Become self-aware. What is that little voice, that neural pathway telling you? Listen. And that'll be the program that you get to get rid of. You have to get rid of that program for you to really succeed to that champion level you want.
One thing I discovered with, as far as programs, what that helps is, and this can definitely be in addition or in conjunction with what you're talking about, the hypnotherapy on that subconscious level, reinforce the mind can be trained.
Yes.
And what I help people do is replace hurtful mental framework and replace it with positive, strong mental framework that reinforces your happiness and your well-being.
Yes.
So when I refer to framework, it's thoughts, beliefs, definitely things that are repetitive, and paradigms. We even create mental stances over time. You mentioned a few, like I'm not worthy of love, or there's not enough love in the world, or it was bigger. And the more often we think them, the more they get ingrained, and it creates mental framework that directs our thoughts more typically than we're not always aware how often or how directed our thoughts get programmed. So there's conscious awareness. Now you're talking about getting underneath that and this direct connection, and that's absolutely helpful. Now, one thing that I find helps with the mind to be able to do that is when we look at leading ourselves, we lead our minds to kind of shrink back a little bit and let the other parts of our being come forward more. So like I mentioned, the mind can close down and disconnect us from what feels good within us and our different strengths inside of ourselves, our heart, our soul, etc. Well, we can open the mind back up. And there's different ways to do that. But one way is to let the mind shrink back. It's easy for the mind is so pervasive in our reality. And it can make it seem like the mind is reality when it's not. How often can our mind fool us into thinking something's a reality that isn't? Often do we worry about stuff that's not real, but our mind goes there and makes it real for us. But so I liken it to this. If you're looking out a window, the mind would be the window, the glass. And sometimes we mistake the glass for the world, but the world is beyond the viewpoint. The mind, we can let it shrink back and let the the heart lead. Let the soul lead. The mind doesn't have to be large and in charge of our reality. It's a tool that can help direct our reality, help create it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that shift in prominence helps. So when we let the mind shrink back, then the parts you're talking about with the subconscious and the other parts of our being coming forward more.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're able to feel on that deeper level the love within us, things like that.
Absolutely. So 100% what disconnects us from that higher self, that love, that connection to this bigger part of who we are, right? Where we know that we were born here to create big things here. We know that we are a creation here to create all of our desires, but there's this thing that stops us. And what that thing is, you're saying it's the mind, or what I would literally say it's the programs within the mind.
Mm-hmm.
The mind actually creates, it's like the engine that creates these things on this planet. The mind is the engine. And so whatever parts and pieces you have in there, it's going to, spit out your drive. It's going to spit out the reality that you're driving in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got some clunky parts, AKA programs, we call them beliefs, patterns, habits, neural pathways, when you've got, just think of it as like you got programs, all right, within this engine that is either going to slow your drive, slow you down, make it a painful ride, or you can release those programs and open up, okay, that space and that energy to create at the speed you were designed to do here. Right now, you've got these things just bogging you down. Like Accolon, I remember being so like hopeless, okay, in pain. There's a lot of people here. Let's not sugarcoat it. There's a lot of people watching that are in pain. Yeah. They want to experience this life. I remember just wanting so bad. Like everything I tried didn't work. Every technique, every method, everything I even screamed at myself. I wanted something so different. I would try everything and I would just fail, and it would just fail. And that whole life that I had programmed in here kept coming back to haunt me. Not enough money, not enough love, not enough health, not enough good people out in the world. Life was so hard, no matter what I did. And it drives us to the ground. We get burnt out. We get so tired of this. Oh, yeah. We want to give up, right? So it's getting to don't make this so hard anymore. If you're watching, get to your mindset, switch these thought patterns, switch it, because whatever you believe, you're going to achieve. And if your beliefs are this world sucks, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, this is hocus pocus, I'm sorry, my friend, your life's going to be shit. You have to get to the mindset. So that's why I say stop and listen. What is that little voice telling you, that program telling you? Every time you go up to go do that goal.
We're talking about a big shift with the mind. Or
little steps. It doesn't even have to be. I don't want to be controversial.
Well, it can be a cumulative effect and little steps along the way.
Exactly.
Referring to is, I opened this interview saying we're going to help you increase your mental strength and use your mind to thrive. Yes. And it's shifting. It's shifting how you use your mind. You shift it into what supports you.
Yes.
Strengthens you and helps
shift your mindset into supporting your goals. Right now we all have, and you might have, if you don't have the bank account you want, it's because you have programs that is money's too hard to make, or money doesn't grow on trees, or whatever it is. Okay. Though. And that's why I want everyone to have a spot. This is how you get mental strength. You have self-awareness. You become captain of your mind and you realize what is going on in there. Control, mastery is controlling your thoughts. If you can control your thoughts, you, my friend, are unstoppable. Now, hypnosis gets rid of what's in your way. Okay, all those thoughts that life is hard and life sucks. Once you can release it, so you can reprogram it. You know what I'm saying? Release that stuff, all that trauma that you've gone through, all of that life you experienced, those hardships that you went through. We feel you. We know that life was hard. This is your story. Once you can release that that's what life actually looks like, you can begin to reprogram your mind with what Accolon you're saying is that positive. Like, I can do this. I got this. I'm an unstoppable creator. Get up and do it. You know, you can reprogram your mind. And I use hypnosis because I don't like to waste time. To be honest, I love things fast. So I'm like, get in there, get that tool, put on the audio and reprogram.
Yeah,
Reprogram.
you want to apply it and use it, absolutely. And
Apply it.
There's a lot of, so I do a lot of focus with mental training, and there's a lot of tools, and I really like practicing and using mental skills towards all the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
One thing, so when I put this summit together with this whole thing about helping people be a champion for themselves, there's mental leverage in that. That's one tool that's really helpful that you can use right now and for the rest of your life. When you think of yourself as a champion, there's those moments of decision throughout the day, all day long. We're doing in any given situation. Am I going to believe in myself right now or not? Do I trust myself to follow through on what I know I will feel better if I do? Or will the other programs get me? So when we're up against the negative programs that are in a way, the mental leverage from, okay, I'm at this crossroads, this decision moment. I'm going to choose according to the fact that I'm a champion. I'm a champion. And when you do that, what decision, what choice that you're offered, what your options are, what are the ones that are aligned with being a champion? It's an easy, quick, more of a simple gauge. So right now, if I am thinking thoughts that I'm beating myself up about, and I'm shaming myself, is that me being a champion? It's an option for me to do, but it's not in alignment with me being a champion. So if I choose, okay, but I'm a champion for myself, and I'm a champion in my life, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to not be beating up on myself right now. So it's mental leverage for that. Or really any self-care choice is reinforced by being a champion. So it's a mental leverage you can give yourself. It's kind of why I'm doing this summit.
And here, and I love that you brought this summit together, because we're talking about real things here. This is not a show, and definitely this is not an episode where we're going to sugarcoat it and it just be like, you know, just tell yourself to think different and that's going to work. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Right? It's
Right.
like, we're going to tell you the real deal here. And how many times have you screamed at yourself and said, just stop thinking that, stop doing that damn thing? That never works. So you must get to the program.
On that, I know. So this is awesome. It's conversation. We're talking back and forth. This is good. So many times, so I train, I practice, I live this stuff, and still I have this moment. How did that just come out of me? How did I just respond that way? I can't believe I just said that. Did I just say that to my kid? I can't believe I did that. That's not, and the thing is, what helps I find is, so I grew up beating up on myself. It was the first thing my teacher, my Kung Fu teacher helped me overcome, was the perfectionism and beating up on myself, right? Big freedom in that, I appreciate it. But now I can always go back to that. But what helps me, I find, is I go, oh, well, I wasn't using this skill or this tool, or I forgot I'm a champion, or I forgot, and I just reconnect back to that, claim it again in the moment. And then I'm back in a good way again. And it's a practice of returning. It takes practice and growth with oneself.
Does. Can I offer a kind of tool, a tip right at this point?
Absolutely.
Okay. So there's many great tools out there. Let's say you're in that point where you're just, speaking about, you're yelling at your kid, or you're getting frustrated and, whatever. Or you're super sad and you're crying and you're like, how did I get back here? Like, what? Oh, this always sets me back. So good. if you're in that space, and let's say you can't go put on your hypnotherapy, you can't go do a technique that someone else has offered here, but you can do something. And this is a really quick and powerful technique. I call it awakened hypnosis. Hypnosis is usually what
Sounds
people,
interesting.
yeah, hypnosis usually thinks, okay, you're going to relax and you're going to go into a trance state, which normally you are in. You're in a different trance state where your brain, your conscious opens to your subconscious and you're doing the work. Okay. Naturally, if you get the audio on, okay, but you can't do that. Let's say you're in an irate state and this is what's happening to you. You need to understand that it's not you. It's literally something that just fired off in your mind. Okay. Like nothing's ever working out for me, or I don't have enough time, or somebody did me wrong, or my kid's annoying me, whatever. It's actually a neural pathway that fired off. You see, your first step of manifestation is the feeling. Okay. You think it, you feel it, then you create it. So you're going to first feel it in your body, the frustration, the sadness, whatever. Because I don't want to waste time, right? I get right to the root. So I say, what the heck? I'm like vomit that thought out. Like, what was that thought that just brought me to this rage or whatever it was? That's gold, my friend. When you know the program that's active, that just went off, you need to just get to that. That's the root. Now you have it. So let's pick, my kids are annoying me. I have 5 kids, by the way, so I can totally speak into this. Let's just say my kids are annoying me. All right. So there it is. You got the program. Here's what you can do. You literally grab a piece of paper. When you get really good at this, you don't need paper, but I want to show you something really quickly. This is on the fly, everyone. So get a pen and paper. If you're watching, this is like just came out for you. All right.
I'll watch it. And we're going to do this quick because we're wrapping
really,
up.
really quickly. So grab a piece of paper. On one side, you're going to write, my kids annoy me. All right. So my kids annoy me on one side. That's the program. On this side, I want you to write, what is your opposite to that? For you, your truth. Okay, Accolon, tell me what would be your natural opposite to my kids annoy me? What would you rather have a program thought versus that one?
I love this. You asked me this example because I do this specific one all the time. Not that my kid always annoys me, but the opposite, like I keep regrounding into this. It's my heart loves this child. And so I just want to care. I just care about this child.
So that's beautiful. And you watching, it may be something different, like my kid's just being a kid, or it's all good, or whatever. But you get to know your own neural pathway. Because if you're about to release this one and you're going to reprogram this one, it has to be your truth. Do you know what I'm saying? It has to feel right. So here's what you would do. You would go, you take a deep breath and you would say, immediately you would say the program again, my kid is annoying me. The next 2 words you would say is cancel, cancel. Say cancel, cancel. Our brains are wired to see the cancel and disengage. It'll literally take this neural pathway and sever it. But you have to reprogram it or it will just grow back.
Right.
So right? You just say.
That's why I bring the training in and the mental leverage and stuff at that point.
Yes. So, my kid annoys me.
And then that feeling, neural pathways.
My kid annoys me, cancel, cancel. Then immediately say, what you said was, my child is my heart. Here's where, this sounds simple, but it's doing it. If you do this, like authentically you do this, you'll never have to worry about that sentence ever again. You'll never have to worry about it. So you say it, you say cancel, cancel, and immediately say the next one. Okay? Because if not, you'll have another web of neural pathways go off and you'll be reattaching somewhere else. You need to get to that.
In that, and it feels good. And that's why you'll come back to it, right? Because it feels good. It feels better.
Yes. So you literally got rid of that, think of it, that neural, it's just the electrical impulse in your brain. That's what a program is. When you can get rid of that impulse and fire off the one that you want, It's like you just reprogrammed your computer, like the motherboard on your computer. You got rid of a virus and you inputted the new technology. All right. So it's going to run that operation. People think, oh my gosh, Derek, this is so cool. It's so simple and whatever. Like, well, they just do it. It's simple and people talk it, but you must do it. So you have to like make a commitment to us here. Whoever's watching,
a champion thing.
It's a champion.
Action is a champion thing. You always bring it into action.
Massive and immediate action.
Any champion in any arena, whether it's Olympics or whatever, or right now in your life,
yes,
it's all about action.
Yes.
Now we're gonna wrap up. I'm gonna offer a couple quick tools as well, and we've got a couple. Derek and I have a couple things to offer you that's gonna help things, but a couple of simple questions about your thoughts you can find helpful. So one is asking, does this thought strengthen me or weaken me? Because there are thoughts that weaken us and there are thoughts that strengthen us. Yeah. And to be aware of that, then we choose, of course, what's going to strengthen us more often, right? So it gives you that gauge, that awareness. And the first step to liberation is awareness. So with our thoughts, if we're needing to be free from what's not helping us and go to what does help us thrive with our mind, that question helps discern. Another one is this thought bringing out the best in me? Is this thought, or do these thoughts bring out the best in me? And then you choose accordingly. Just another couple easy, quick things to put into practice, right? Mm-hmm. Derika, you have something pretty cool that will help, pretty cool to offer folks that will help with being a champion in your life and having a good relationship with yourself, right? You got to have a good relationship with yourself and be aware of yourself to be a champion for yourself. So go ahead and share what you have to offer.
Absolutely. So I talked a bit about hypnosis. I talked about this personal development thing is hard. Let's make it easy. Let's not waste a bunch of time. Let's get right to the source. And I have
real quick, while you're talking about this, I'm going to ask my assistant, Christy, will you please put the link for people to access? So while we're still on this interview and it's wrapping up pretty quick, put it in the chat. Put Derika's link to what she's offering in the chat so people can test it while they're learning about it. Go ahead, now finish describing.
Perfect. I'm so excited about this. So hit the link. So what this is about, and this is just an offer for this show here. So if you're watching the show, like jump on, because now you're understanding the inner champion. How do you actually bring out that champ? That's naturally who you are. Okay, you got to get rid of the things that are blocking you. And so what I put together for this show specifically is a hypnotherapy audio, and it's called Connect to Your Inner Self. Okay, there's things blocking you in your way. And if you don't feel fully connected to that champion of who you are, then let's just go ahead and rid those programs, those blocks from your life. We don't need to know what those are. We don't need to know the specific things that you're telling yourself or beating yourself up or sabotaging yourself about. It's okay. We all have them. We don't need to know what they are. Press play on the hypnosis. It's going to find what contradicts that champion that you are. It's going to release it. It'll walk you through. It's about a 20-minute hypnotherapy session. Okay. It's an MP3 that you can listen to anytime, anywhere. Put it on your phone and let the magic begin. All right. So it's 20-minute audio. This is probably one of my more popular ones as well. It's like, I want to connect to myself and strengthen. So it's $14.95 is the regular price for this. But for you watching, it's 50% off. Okay. So you're going to get this full hypnotherapy session to release what's stopping you so you can embody the champ that Accolon's talking about here. Embody and embrace that inner creative self, that champion you are, for like a price of a cup of coffee. All right. So the code is connect, the word connect, enter that at checkout, and then there you go. Get it.
So that sounds really good. Take her up on that.
Go for it.
Tools you can gather yourself to help you apply and be in action and really make this real for you, the better. So here's an excellent, excellent gift you can give yourself for helping yourself be champion, make this rookie. I love what I just got a little excited, but it's an awesome thing providing. I really appreciate you bringing that. And now I'm realizing, okay, we're a little bit over our time and we have other interviews. We want to get to the other interviews as well. I want to quick say, as far as putting things into practice in action, tomorrow, I'm doing a 3-hour workshop for helping you put everything into practice. So that's part of the VIP package. So there's, Christy, drop the link to that, the VIP package, to order that. It'll be in other interviews as well. The recordings are included in that, a one-on-one private support session with me as well. And then that workshop tomorrow is going to be awesome. So join in on that. Derika, thank you so much for this interview. We could talk for hours on this. I could tell it's hard not to.
Yeah.
You're delightful. Thanks for what you bring. Thanks for what you do in the world. And everyone watching, I'm glad you were part of this interview and you show up for yourself by attending this event.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.